We've heard obviously from England, Michael, about their determination to win 4-0. How do you describe the challenge to prevent that happening from your point of view?
Well, our goal hasn't changed. Like I've said for a number of times in my press conferences, that we're trying to win every test match we play. This test is no different. Yes, there's a number of reasons why we need to have success in this test match, but the main reason is because every test you play for Australia, you want to win. We don't need any extra motivation than that.
And if it was to happen, I mean, do you think it has a carryover to the return series down under, or if you can turn things around, would that be a nice springboard for you?
It would certainly be a nice way to finish the test side of the tour. We've obviously got some T20s and some one days afterwards as well that are crucial for us, but it would be a nice way to finish.
Michael, you guys seemed a bit rattled towards the end at Durham. How do you get the confidence back to really attack this test?
I think by simply understanding where we are in this series. We've lost the series, but we still have a lot to gain. I think the fact that we've got a lot of cricket to play against England over the next 12 months is extra motivation. But like I say, I don't think we need any extra motivation. We need to go out and perform like we did in Manchester. We need to show a lot of people, but ourselves as well, that if we continue to play that style and brand of cricket, we can beat any team in the world in any conditions.
Chris, Michael, have you got a team for us here?
I do have a team. We have 2 changes. Jackson Bird is out and Usman Khawaja is out. So Mitchell Starc comes in and James Faulkner makes his debut.
Michael, you've changed the side a lot in this series. Do you think that's worked against you in a way, that people haven't been allowed to have a run?
I think you have to perform as a player. If you don't, there's a chance that you can be dropped. It's the life we live, playing sport at the highest level. If you don't perform consistently, there's a chance you'll get dropped.
In all 3 matches that you've lost, you've been in a position where you could press home advantage. Can you put your finger on why whichever team you've picked hasn't managed to do that?
No, I don't know the exact reason. I'll certainly, as one of the senior players, I think we have to take majority of that responsibility. I think young players will always follow the senior players, so we are responsible to make sure we're finding a way to get us over the line when we get so close. If we do that consistently, I think the young players will then learn and breathe that culture. That was the culture I was brought into as a young Australian player, that you did whatever you could to find a way to help your team win. And that's now a big part of my responsibility and the senior players' responsibility to make sure we're doing the same, so the young guys know what we expect in the Australian cricket team.
Do you believe there's less between the sides than 3-0 would indicate?
I think it's irrelevant what I believe. I think we're 3-0 down. We want to win this last test match.
Right. Michael, with Usman out, obviously, there'll be a change to the batting order. Who's going to bat at 3 and where does Faulkner fit in?
Shane Watson will bat at 3 for us. Myself at 4. Steve Smith stays at 5. Brad Haddon will bat at 6. And James will bat at 7.
And what does James bring, I guess, to the side? What is it that's got him over the line?
I think a lot. I think you've seen so far on this tour, he's scored some very handy runs for us. I think he's been dismissed once in his last 5 or 6 innings that he's played, whether that be in tour games or one-day cricket, whatever it is. I think he's a tough competitor. I think he obviously, at this stage of his career, is a bowler who can certainly make some handy runs. He's an all-rounder. He provides that package for us, which is, I guess the selectors believe, and I certainly believe that he'll play a big part in helping us take 20 wickets and helping us score as many runs as we need to win this test match. Again, it's not about the individual player. My comments stand in what I just said. If you perform well enough, you won't be dropped. If you don't, you put yourself in a position that you can be dropped.
Richie. Is the inclusion of James Faulkner in any way related to concern you might have that Shane Watson won't be able to bowl? In other words, you brought in an extra bowler.
Shane will be able to bowl. Shane will certainly play that all-rounder role once again, but I think it's obviously an extra string to James's bow that he can bowl as many overs as possible. He's fit and strong, and he'll play a big part with the ball. There's no doubt about it. So he adds that extra option to help us take 20 wickets. But I think it's the overall package that James brings. His toughness, his performances of late in whatever form of the game he's played, and the fact that he's not just a bowler. He can certainly make some very crucial and handy runs for us.
Lawrence? Michael, would a defeat here in any way test your enthusiasm for the job?
I don't think so, no. I'm certainly not planning on losing this test match. I've thought long and hard about what's occurred so far in this series, as you do when you're not performing as well as you'd like personally and the team's not performing. And I did the same after the Indian tour, and it's another reason to get out of bed and go and train and try and become better. I feel my game personally has a lot of improvement left in it. I feel I can help the team have success, and I see that as a big part of my role as a senior player in the team, whether I'm captain or not. But it's a tough challenge as a captain when you don't get the results you want, and this probably just inspires you to try and become better as a player, try and become better as a leader, and try and help your team have more success.
Sam, I guess sort of following on from that question, do you feel you're getting the support from the sort of leadership group within the Australian team that you need as captain?
I do. I think the support of the players and the staff has been exceptional. I said to the guys before we left for this tour that all I could ask for was that everybody worked as hard as they possibly could at training and try to become better every single day. And I think the work ethic, the attitude of the boys has been everything I could have asked for as captain. Like all of us, I'm disappointed we haven't got a win up so far in this series and that we haven't won the series. But I can't fault their work ethic, that's for sure.
Michael, you said that you want to try and put in a performance here. You want to show yourselves more than other people that you're capable of getting over the line and doing well. I mean, how difficult is it to psychologically get over those self-doubts that you may have had throughout this series to then put them to one side and actually put in a performance?
I think you face it every day at the highest level in any sport. There's always doubt, there's always fear, there's always the what if. You've got to find a way. The best players in the world find a way. The best teams in the world find a way. It's as simple as that. I don't think I've played a game of cricket in my career that there hasn't been a tough period through that test match. Whether you got the ball or the bat in your hand or you're in the field, every single test match you play, there's tough periods. But you've got to find a way to get through those, to overcome those, to have success. And that breeds confidence and builds confidence in our group, and it will. You have to train hard and make sure you prepare as well as you can so you're ready once you get into that challenge. But then you've got to find a way to have that confidence and self-belief to take that challenge on.
Is it harder to find a way when you're up against a team that's making it difficult?
I think it's the best opportunity you can have. It's not going to be easy. Not one part of this test match is going to be easy, but it's a great challenge for us.
Faulkner, I can understand the start of the series. He's a promising young player, but picking Faulkner, but he hasn't got a first-class 100 and the batting's been a major problem. Do you feel that by giving the kid an opportunity, you're actually making your weakness even worse?
Well, we're trying to win the test match. So the selectors have picked this team thinking this is going to give us our best chance to win the test match. As we've seen so far in this series, statistics, records, first-class performances haven't meant that much. It's about finding a way on that day or over those 5 days to have success. And I know James Faulkner's got the strength to do that, whether it be with the bat or with the ball.
Michael, what can you say about James's sort of attitude, I suppose, and that kind of thing? Like from what we've seen of him in one day, is he seems very competitive and pretty tenacious kind of character.
Yeah, he's like a lot of our young players. He's a wonderful young talent, but I think he's got the toughness to mix it with any opposition in any form of the game at the highest level. He's a fighter. He's a competitor. he mightn't look the best all the time, but he'll find a way to stay out there and help his partner go on and make 100, or make sure he's batting with the tail and find a way to get them through. I think he's got that in him. With the boys, extremely competitive, and will find a way to take wickets, as he's done so far on this tour and in the shorter forms of the game. I think generally the better conditions are for batting, the better bowler James is, because he's at you all the time and he's extremely competitive. So I think he's the right character for this team. And I think you'll have a good opportunity to see just how much talent he's got in this test match.
Is it something that maybe the team has lacked a little bit like that? Do you think that toughness and that sort of...
Maybe.
Yeah.